Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're dissecting a really unexpected development in professional sports, something that's made waves way beyond just the football world.
You're talking about Daniel Levy at Tottenham Hotspur.
Exactly. Stepping down after nearly 25 years as executive chairman, for a club so tied to his leadership for so long. Well, that's more than just news, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It feels like a seismic shift, a huge transition.
Right. So our mission today, and we're drawing on insights from Reuters here, including some really interesting comments from former Spurs striker Harry Kane and the current chief exec Vinay Venkacham, is to unpack Levy's legacy, which, was pretty transformative, sometimes controversial too.
Definitely had its critics.
We'll look at the immediate reactions and try to figure out what this new chapter they're talking about might, actually mean for Spurs and maybe for leadership transitions generally.
Yeah, in any kind of high-stakes environment, really.
So let's dive in, because this isn't just for football fans. It's, I think, a fascinating look at leadership, change, and, well, letting go.
Good place to start.
Okay, so the surprise factor. That's where we have to begin, right? Levy, after nearly a quarter century, just steps away.
Yeah, it seemed to come out of the blue for a lot of people.
Even Harry Kane, he spent most of his career there under Levy before moving to Bayern. He basically said as much.
He did. Speaking, what was it, ahead of that England qualifier in Serbia?
Yeah, September 8th, he was quoted on the 9th saying, "I didn't expect it, didn't see that coming."
And that's pretty stark coming from him.
Yeah.
Someone who knew the inner workings, who negotiated with Levy.
Exactly. For Kane to be that surprised, well, what does that tell you?
Well, I think it really underlines just how central Levy was. Not just the chairman. He was sort of the constant, the face of the club strategy for like 25 years. So for someone like Kane, who saw him practically every day, to be genuinely shocked, it shows how deeply embedded Levy was in Tottenham's actual identity. It wasn't just a role, it was, his life's work almost.
And that kind of tenure is incredibly rare, isn't it? Especially in football.
Exceptionally rare. Which makes Kane's other comments quite interesting, too.
You mean the praise? Because he didn't just express surprise, did he?
No, not at all. He called Levy a fantastic chairman, said he oversaw a big change, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well.
Right, contrasting where it was and where it is now. That feels like a pretty strong endorsement from a club legend, not just, polite words.
It absolutely is. And it leads us nicely into the tangible stuff, doesn't it? The concrete legacy.
You mean the infrastructure?
Exactly. When Kane talks transformation, he's pointing at massive physical changes. The stadium, first and foremost.
$1 billion stadium. Can't really ignore that.
You can't. It wasn't just an upgrade. It was a total strategic reset. A modern marvel designed to rake in revenue, boost the club's finances dramatically.
And the training ground, too. Kane mentioned that.
State of the art. Crucial for attracting talent, developing players. These aren't just buildings. They were kind of statements of intent, reshaping the club's entire platform.
It's hard to argue with that impact. The stadium experience alone is totally different. And the commercial side, huge leap.
Definitely.
And then, okay, the football side. They finally got their trophy last season, the Europa League.
Yeah, 2024-2025, that was big. First major trophy since, 2008?
That's right. So a tangible reward after all that investment and maybe some near misses.
It was a significant moment, no doubt.
Yeah.
A kind of capstone.
Yeah.
But this is where we get to the duality you mentioned.
On the other side of the coin.
Exactly. If you look at the whole 25 years, despite the stadium, the training ground, that Europa League win, Levy was ultimately unable to end Spurs' wait for a first English top-flight title since 1961.
That's the ghost at the feast, isn't it? The Premier League title. That remained elusive.
The ultimate prize in England, yeah.
So, for a club that moved into this amazing stadium, often competed near the top, why do you think that league title stayed out of reach? Was it like a deliberate trade-off, financial stability over maybe pushing that bit harder for the title?
That's the million-dollar or maybe billion-dollar question, isn't it?
Hey.
I think it's complex. The sources hint at it. Levy was famously prudent financially, especially while the stadium was being built. That often meant, tighter transfer budgets compared to rivals. Fans weren't always happy about that.
That was definitely a recurring theme.
And there was the managerial churn, lots of managers, different styles. Hard to build that long-term title-winning consistency sometimes.
So maybe a struggle to balance the books with the on-pitch firepower needed.
I think so. Balancing the commercial transformation and infrastructure build with the need for consistent top-level squad investment and stability, especially against clubs with frankly, deeper pockets or joint ownership models. It's that constant tension in football leadership.
A really powerful reminder that even leaders seen as transformative often have that one big goal, that asterisk that wasn't achieved.
Precisely. And for Spurs, that league title is a big part of the Levy story.
Okay, so bearing that context in mind, what does this departure actually mean for Tottenham now? The architect is gone. We've heard from Kane, a voice from the past in a way. How's the club itself handling this? What's the official line?
Right. And this brings us to Vinay Venkasham, the chief executive. His comments are, well, pretty much textbook for managing this kind of major transition.
He called Levy's contribution extraordinary, which seems fair.
Yes, acknowledges the scale of it, but then pivots, quite deliberately, to reassurance, downplaying upheaval.
How so?
He stressed the club is well organized for succession, so they have a very strong executive team in place, and crucially stated that inside the club, it really is business as usual, even if it's big news externally.
Business as usual. That sounds like a carefully managed message, doesn't it? Trying to project stability.
Absolutely. It's designed to instill confidence, internally with staff, externally with fans, sponsors, everyone.
But can it really be business as usual when someone who dominated for so long leaves?
Well, the business continues, but the how might change. Emphasizing that strong executive team isn't just talk. It hints at a move towards maybe a more distributed leadership model, less reliant on one person holding all the strings, which Levy was often seen as doing.
So more delegation, perhaps.
Potentially. For a club of Spurs' size, showing they have a plan, a structure beyond one individual, that's vital. It suggests the systems are robust, the collective leadership is there. It's about resilience.
Okay, a strategic message to calm the waters. But how does that actually play out internally, with staff used to Levy's, shall we say, very hands-on style?
That's the real test, isn't it? Post-dominant leader syndrome.
Right.
Levy's detailed involvement, especially in transfers and manager hires, it had its pros and cons. A strong executive team might mean more autonomy for specialists. Maybe Venegation empowers the director of football more directly, rather than the chairman being deep in every negotiation.
Which could mean quicker decisions, maybe, less friction.
Could be more streamlined processes, potentially. But also, the challenge is maintaining that single-minded vision Levy sometimes imposed. It's about finding a new rhythm, new dynamics.
Interesting. And we should also touch on the ownership speculation that popped up.
Yes, that always happens when a long-standing figure leaves. People wonder if it signals a bigger change, maybe a sale.
But the club shut that down pretty quickly.
They did. The sources are clear. The majority shareholder said Spurs are not for sale. That's crucial context.
Why crucial?
Because it reinforces that message of stability from Venkasham. It frames this as an internal leadership change, not the start of a total ownership overhaul. It sets boundaries around what this new chapter actually means.
And that phrase, new chapter, which Kane also used, becomes quite significant then.
Exactly. Kane said, overall for Tottenham, it's a new chapter they're trying to create now.
So if ownership isn't changing and they're stressing continuity via the executive team, this new chapter sounds more like evolution than a revolution.
That seems to be the implication. Building on Levy's legacy, the stadium, the finances, the recent trophy, but maybe evolving the approach.
How might that look?
Well, strategically, maybe leveraging the stadium's financial power even more. New partnerships, maybe diversifying income further.
Yeah.
On the football side, perhaps a shift in recruitment strategy, more data-driven, more focus on the academy, trying to find that consistency, that final piece for the league challenge.
So refining the foundation rather than tearing it down.
Precisely. Keep the core identity, the ambition, the infrastructure, but operate it with fresh perspectives, new leadership dynamics. The goal hasn't changed. Sustain top-level success, and maybe finally ending that long wait for the league title.
Okay, that brings us towards the end of this deep dive. We've covered the surprise of Levy's exit, the sheer scale of his legacy, the good and the unfulfilled as seen by Kane, and the club's message of a smooth transition.
Business as usual, but with a new feel.
Right. And for you listening, whether you're deep into football or not, I think this whole situation is just a really compelling case study. Leadership, succession, managing change.
Absolutely.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What defines a truly transformative leader? Is it just the tangible things like stadiums? Or is it more? And how does an organization prepare for life after such a dominant figure, someone who's been the face of the place for decades?
What systems do you need? How do you keep momentum but also embrace the new?
Exactly. It's a question that applies everywhere, in any field, especially when you're still chasing that ultimate prize, whatever it might be.